What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're working on the Mini Cooper. What we're going to be doing is just doing front and rear brakes on this. And I got my brakes from FCP Euro, so they're not a sponsor or anything, but that's normally where I get all my European parts from if I can, because they tend to have factory parts and they tend to have good customer service. So let me gather up everything. I'm going to jack it up, get the tires off, and then we'll get to diving into the front and rear brakes on this, because I know the backs have been sticking a little bit, and we're going to see why. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to start off with the back brakes on this right here. So first thing I want to do is pop this clip out right here. It should come out. Come on. Of course, it's not going to come out as easy as the other side, because I already did the passenger side on this, just so I know what tools to use. Alright, so now we're going to have a Torx bit bolt right here that holds the rotor on, and these can be pretty stubborn. So what I'm going to do is use my impact, or if you want to, if you don't have an impact, you can use a breaker bar and set your parking brake, and then you can break it loose with your breaker bar. It is a T50. Whenever I get ready to do everything on the back, I'll set y'all up. But like I said, I'm using the impact. And it looks like the person before me did use a little bit of anti-seize on it, which is nice. Alright, now we're going to use a 7mm Allen, and we're going to take out the sliders / bolts on this. And yours may have caps, may not. My passenger side didn't have caps on here. Okay, there's one. That's your little caps right there. And then there's one right on the bottom. Now, for the rear, you're going to need a long 7mm Allen socket or an Allen wrench, because the e-brake assembly right here gets in the way, and you can't use a short one. I'm using the Mac RBRTs on this, and as you can see, I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it says H7, that's 7mm. Now I'm going to set y'all up so y'all can watch this. These shouldn't be too tight. They only torque to 22mm. See if I can do it blind. Where are you? Get in there. There you go. I'll show you where that one's at. See how it goes. Here's your e-brake cable, and it goes through there, and it's in there pretty deep. But like I said, you can use one of these like mid-length ones, not the real long ones. So you can use the mid-length one, and you can get in there pretty easy. I don't know if it's all the way out or not. Yeah. And then that's your slider right there, which this one has some dried stuff on it. Now we're going to take the top one out. We go back up a little bit. And on the back also, you're going to need a screw-in tool to screw the piston back in, because this does have screw-in pistons. Come on, there we go. Once I take this off, the pad will probably fall off. Come on. And the caliper side of them looks like that, and it interlocks onto the piston. It's got like these little grooves and stuff in there, and I'll show that to y'all in a minute. But here is your caliper. This one looks a little rough, so this might have been the caliper that was sticking a little bit. like I was saying, you can actually get these rotors off without taking the bracket off, just like that. Now I'm going to clean this face up, clean up the bracket portion. It's got some old crusty stuff on there. And I've already checked the wheel bearing. The wheel bearing feels fine. Also, if you had to replace it, now would be a good time to do that. But I'm going to clean up everything, and then before I push the piston back in, I will bring it back and show you that. So this right here is the tool I'm using, and you can see it's got like these two little indentions. While the actual caliper has 4 in there, this right here does fit into it. And it does rotate clockwise, for anybody who is wondering, because some of them do spin counterclockwise. Now I hold this piece right here while I turn the handle. Need to get it to start first. There we go. And there we go. She's going in now. Just take it slow. You gotta go too fast on this. Because if you feel any binding, just stop. Which is actually going in fairly easy. Come on. Most time this right here will thread down. Let me go get a wrench and I'll thread that down. Last time it didn't catch like that. Yes. Cleaned it off inside of here and there with some Scotch-Brite, and then I cleaned off the face, and then I used some brake cleaner and cleaned it off. Now I'm trying some new brake lube right here. Where's the tip? Okay. CRC is braking caliper grease. I like to try new stuff like this out on my car before I try it out on customers' cars. So we're going to see how this does. Put a little bit right here and there, and then put a little bit on the contact surface and the boot. Alright. And now, time for the parts. Like I said, I got my parts from FCP Euro. They're not a sponsor, but we got ATE disc brakes, part number SP10271, and the rear brakes are the same on both sides as are the front rotors. Pads are the same thing, they're ATE. Part number is 607162. I'll see if I can find a link on Amazon for these. I don't know if they have them or not. If not, I'll put up a kit through Amazon too for everybody that would be a decent little kit. And these right here are coated rotors. They did not have a kit for the back. If they had a kit, I would have bought a full kit. Put them on first before I put my grease on the slides right there. And this torques to 20 foot-pounds. I'm just going to use my little impact driver. I'll set torque stuff to about 15 or 20 foot-pounds anyway. Here are our brake pads. Put a little grease on the contact portions of this as well. this will just sit up in here like that. And now on the other one, we'll have to clip it in so it hangs inside. Alright, so we're going to try to put this in right here. And it's got like little notches on the piston in there. And you want it to slide down over them. Let's see if we got it that time. I think that did it. Yeah, it's kind of like an aggravating design. I don't know why they did that on the back. I wish they would have just did it like they did on the front. You'll see how the fronts are in a minute. So I Scotch-Brited off the pins. I'm gonna put a little bit of lube on those as well. Got a little bit of lube on that. Slide them into the grooves. Same thing with the bottom. Now I'm going to screw them in and then I'll torque them down to 22 foot-pounds. Now that I got it torqued down and all that good stuff, now we're going to put the clip back on. Sometimes you have to persuade it. I'm trying to do it one-handed too. Try to set y'all up in my lap. There it goes. Come on, why ain't you going in there all the way? Bottom one's going in, the top one's not. There it goes. Just had to persuade it a little bit. Alright, so my camera died before I got to finish all that. But what I was saying is the lug nuts, they torque to 80 foot-pounds, but I torqued mine to 95 just because the lug studs I think are original and that they're stretched a little bit and all that. So I like to torque mine a little bit more. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's just, this is my car and I know the responsibility I take if I over tighten stuff like that. But now we're going to go to the front and start showing you how to do the fronts. And it's not much different, but you'll see what I mean whenever I say I wish they would have made the backs like the fronts. So just like the back, we have a T50 right here. And that can come out fairly easy because the torque of the engine was holding it in. And on the front we got a kit where we got new ones. And we also have new spring right here. So, and just like the backs, you're going to have caps on the back of it as well. And you throw them halfway across the car. Come on. And they are 7mm as well. And these aren't tight either. I know y'all can't see the bottom one, but it's the same size. Same thing as the top one. It's a little tight for my fingers. Like I said, same thing as the back, same pin, slider, whatever you want to call it. coming off of there. It's a little tighter because the pad on the back stays in the caliper. And I just smashed my finger. See how the front is? It enters into the actual piston. So now we're going to take the bracket off. I believe that is a 17. It's got 2 nuts that hold it on, and those torque to 81 foot-pounds. They're actually 16s. I thought they were 17s. There's 1 and 2. So let me take these out, and then I'll bring y'all back and show me pulling the rotor off. Just like the other side, I'm gonna have to hit this one with the hammer a couple times, or 1 time. Yeah, this one was eat up a little bit more. And you can see how rusty that face is. I'm gonna clean that up with some Scotch-Brite and stuff, and spray it down with a little bit of rust prohibitor, and see if we can get that cleaned up a little bit. So let me clean this, clean the bracket right there, and then I'll show you the parts, and we'll start putting it all back together. All right, for the fronts, we got Zimmerman coated rotors. The part number is, looks like, I think that's right there. I think it's that 74889. And then we got TRW brake pads in the kit, and those are TXC 0939. And it came with a little bit of the pack right there for your brake grease, but I already have some. And now I got, if I can find it, I think it's in the box on top of it. Yep. But got a new spring, and then we got a new bolt also that goes inside of that right there. We got the rotor on. I got the bolt holding it in, torqued down to 20 foot-pounds, and here's the stud right here for the brake caliper bracket. Come on, where are you? There we go. Like I said, this torques to 81 foot-pounds, and these are 16 millimeters. Torque it down real quick. There's 1, and my arm's probably in the way. 2. This is setup I'm using right here to push the caliper in. It's just a regular push-in piston, and I'm just using a C-clamp and the old brake pad on there, and we're going to push it in until it pretty much goes, until there's no tension left on there. And don't put too much on it, because you can crack this piston, because this is a plastic piston on the fronts right here, at least mine is. So I'm going to screw this in. I'm going to put a little bit of brake grease right here and right there, and a little bit on the face of the piston, and then we'll put the brake pads in, and I'll torque everything down. Okay, I greased the pins, put them in, and I'm just getting ready to torque them down. Come on, get out of there. Alright. Put my caps back on. Come on, where are you? There we go. And finally, we can put our clip on here. go. Give her a good spraying of brake cleaner to get any fingerprints and stuff like that off. Alright. Now, put the tire on and we will press the brake until it gets stiff. You always want to do that when you change your brakes because you're pushing the piston in, and if you hit the brake, it'll go all the way to the floor because it hasn't compressed the piston all the way. So we're going to torque the tire down, compress the piston back in, and then we're going to take it on test drive. So now that we're finished, we're going to check the brake fluid, and I've already pumped up the brakes. You can see it's probably overflowed a little bit. Yeah, it needs to be flushed, to be honest. So, but we're good on the level. As I'm driving, some of it's probably won't come out, but like I said, this is my car. I'm not really worried about it. It's just my little beater. Now we're going to take her on test drive real quick. Camera, okay. Yeah, I had to sit on the hood to get her to shut. I swear it's true about mechanics. Turn my fan down. Yes, I do have a check engine light. It is the dreaded O2 sensor on these things. I've noticed that if you pump gas and keep pumping it till it's full, the light comes on, but if I stop it right when it clicks, it will turn the light off. So, and the last time I got gas, I did overfill it. I wasn't thinking, I'm just used to clicking it until it, you know, almost overflows. But different story, different day. I'll see if I can set y'all up. Coming back around up my way. God, it's hot today. It's still 96 degrees. It is like 8 o'clock. Horrible. Pull back into my driveway. My wife washed the old 4Runner. Got it in first gear. Get out of this little thing. Alright, we're gonna take a look at the brakes real quick. Backs don't look too bad. Fronts look good. So I think we should be good on this. Y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If I did anything wrong or if I left something out, let me know as well. I will try to fix it as soon as possible and give y'all updated stuff on there, but I'll put a list of everything I used in the description and all the parts, the tools. I'll even put the brake caliper kit that I use for the rear on here as well, just so everybody has that. And we'll look at both sides. Alright, seem to be good, but like I said, if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I will answer them as soon as I can. Hit all the notification bells, like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, leave me a comment saying why you didn't. And remember, torque this tight, and y'all have a great day.